Streaming is the future of music listening. And the problem is that streaming of classical music doesn't work on all genre streaming services because of the applied metadata. So regular streaming services are pop driven. That means you have three criteria: the song, the artist, and the album, period. That structures everything. In classical, you have the composer, you have the composition, you have his piece, you have a conductor, orchestra, singer, and so on and so on. So imagine Karajan conducts Verdi and Maria Callas is singing. Two of the three will fall apart because who is the artist? And that's the problem that we have solved at Idagio. It is principally the same, but it is operationally totally different. Because we are, first of all, in classical, in the entertainment business. Classical musicians, and many people don't like to hear this because it's about Bruckner and Brahms and Bach and it's the art. But we are, from a consumer's perspective, in the entertainment business, and we compete with Netflix, with soccer, with Facebook, with the entire internet. And our competition, those who are competing for the time of our potential listeners, our competitors are using technology. It's a data-driven competition, and classical music mainly is, when it comes to these aspects, still in the Stone Age. And if we don't help sustain, and this is really what we want to do, if we don't sustain classical music through technology, we are going to lose relevance. Classical music is, if you want so, a system of cover versions. You have one Beethoven Symphony No. 7, and you have thousands of orchestras around the world that perform and perform and perform it. And you have hundreds and probably also thousands of orchestras that are competing to deliver the relevant recording. And this can simply not be managed if you don't have metadata that tell you who's the conductor, who's the orchestra, who is the singer when it goes to other repertoire, and so on and so on. And this is key. This is where it starts at Idagio, and this is why we have started everything with technology, a proprietary technology that allows us to manage that in a far better way than any other service. Back to that question, there is a very nice quote of, I don't know, I think Ernst Barlach said this. It's a very nice thing, who said, art always needs two stakeholders, the one who does it and the one who needs it. And the job of the manager, be it an artist manager or a promoter, is to help these two parties to interact and to come together. So this is what you do as a manager. Now at Idagio we do in fact the same, and we do the same what Uber does or what Airbnb does. We connect supply and demand in a new way on a technological platform. So that's number one. And number two, what's driving me is that if you manage artists, and I did this for more than 20 years, I was always frustrated that we are unable, and we're still incapable, to bring the two core activities of an artist together, which is three. Number one, practicing, which is 99%, but leave that beside. But 99% playing concerts and 1% making recordings. And the recorded music market exists in total ignorance of the live market and vice versa. But a recording means context for a concert goer. If I leave a concert and I've listened to a Liederabend with Thomas Hampson, I would like to listen more. I would like to get some suggestions of Hampson, other Hampson recordings, maybe the same repertoire, maybe the same Schubert Lieder with another singer, and so on and so on. So these two markets have to be brought together. I think it's not so much a question of what entertainment genre you are in. I think, and that's what I was explained by a neurologist, it's rather how we as human beings function. And the brain, in the relaxed status, consumes 2% of the body energy. The moment we think, the brain consumes 18%. So this delta of 16% is an inconvenience. That's why we are lazy. So the moment somebody is recommending something to us, we go for it if it's convenient. And there is a very interesting quote of Eric Schmidt from Google, who said, Alphabet now, but when he was still with Google, was still called Google, who said, ideally human beings want that Google tells them what to do next in life. Now, we can have weeks of discussions and debates about it, but that's a reality, and recommendations win. And in all areas of life, you want recommendation, and the same applies to classical music. Our business model is music, period. And I don't want to talk about others, but there are services I'm told that promote music because music promotes hardware. We want to promote music and musicians. It's about those who do it, and again about those who need it. And I think a piece of art or recording or any artistic activity has to be good enough for people to pay money for it, period. There is another thing that not every musician likes to hear, is that a lot of use cases are lean back. Well, if you tell Mr. Muti that you are cleaning your dirty glasses during you listen to a Brahms symphony with him, I don't know, he may not like it, but that's reality. Mm-hmm. So music is also something that is kind of escaping from reality, that calms me down. And I think this aspect, we spoke about the concert, which is a social act. Mm-hmm. It's as important as the introvert act that happens while I listen to music, which is a very private thing, mm-hmm. because it cools me down or turns me on or whatever. It does something with me. It changes my mood, mm-hmm. and that's very important. Mm-hmm. And the other thing is that the typical use case doesn't really exist. There are many different use cases. There's active listening. There are aficionados that are comparing versions. There are other people who just put music in order not to fall asleep when they drive on the highway during the night. There's so many different use cases. And I think even aficionados, there is not one use case. Mm-hmm. Everybody is in different situations in life, like we all also belong to different communities. Mm-hmm. I mean, in the weekend I may belong to a soccer community, while during the week I belong to different communities. It's diverse.
Do you think of these different versions of listening when you design the service?
Not in the beginning. In the beginning, it's really about making everything that's there available in the most convenient way.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.